Good morning, everyone. Life is a journey full of highs, lows, lessons, and triumphs. As we walk through it, we discover truths that shape who we are and who we become. Sharing with you today might just be what you need to change the course of your life. Here's my greatest advice to you. Embracing your true self is one of the most powerful things you can do in this lifetime. It means letting go of the masks, the expectations, and the pressure to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. Too often, we hide behind the walls we've built, walls made of fear, insecurity, and doubt. We convince ourselves that if we just change a little bit more, just become more like them, maybe then we'll be enough. But the truth is, you were never meant to fit in. You were born to stand out. It takes courage to show up as you are. The world is full of noise, and people are always telling you what you should do, how you should look, and who you should become. But there comes a point where you have to realize that the most important relationship you will ever have is the one with yourself. And that relationship has to be rooted in truth. You have to be willing to accept every part of yourself, the messy parts, the imperfect parts, and the parts that you've been told to hide. Because here's the thing, there is nothing more beautiful or magnetic than a person who is fully themselves. When you embrace your true self, you give permission to those around you to do the same. It's like you become a mirror reflecting authenticity, and suddenly people are drawn to that realness. They see that they too can let down their guard. They too can breathe a little easier because you showed them what it looks like to be free. But let's be honest, it's not always easy. You will face moments where you'll question yourself. You'll be tempted to shrink, to conform, to blend in. You'll worry about what others might think if you showed them the real you. And in those moments, you have to remind yourself that the people who truly matter in your life will love you not for the version of you that you think they want, but for the person you already are. Those who don't, they were never meant to be part of your journey. And here's the magic when you start living as your true self. Opportunities start showing up in ways you couldn't have imagined. Doors open, connections deepen, and life feels lighter. You realize that being yourself isn't just about feeling good on the inside, it's about aligning with the energy that attracts the right people, the right experiences, and the right purpose into your life. Because when you are fully you, the universe responds. It rewards you for stepping into your truth. So what does it take? It takes self-awareness. You have to spend time with yourself, quiet time, reflective time, getting to know who you are beneath the layers. It takes forgiveness, forgiving yourself for the times you betrayed your own heart, and forgiving others for not seeing your worth. And it takes patience, because becoming who you are meant to be is a lifelong journey. There will be stumbles along the way, but those stumbles don't define you. What defines you is your ability to get back up, to keep shedding the false layers, and to keep stepping into the light of your true self. The moment you embrace who you are, you'll realize you've had the power all along. You don't need permission to be yourself. You don't need approval. The only validation you need is your own. When you love yourself as you are without needing to change or be anything other than you, that's when you begin to live fully. That's when you begin to live freely. There's a moment in life when you have to stop and ask yourself, when will I be enough? When will I stop chasing after things, people, or accomplishments to fill a void that was never meant to be filled by anything outside of me? The truth is, you are enough. Right here, right now, in this very moment. Not when you get that promotion, not when you lose that weight, not when you finally prove yourself to others. But today, in this moment, you are already enough. But how often do we forget that? We've been conditioned to believe that we need to achieve, to strive, to constantly be doing more, and only then we'll finally feel worthy. We compare ourselves to others, believing their success somehow diminishes our own. We see the highlight reels of other people's lives and start to question whether we're doing enough, being enough, and that's where the spiral begins, the doubt, the insecurity, the feeling that no matter what you do, it will never quite measure up. But let me tell you something, your worth was never attached to any of that. It was never tied to how much you've accomplished or how much others approve of you. Your worth is in your being, not in your doing. It's in the essence of who you are, the unique combination of your spirit, your heart, and your experiences. No one else in the world can bring what you bring. And that in itself is enough. You have to understand that being enough doesn't mean being perfect. Perfection is a myth, an illusion that keeps you trapped in a cycle of striving for something that doesn't exist. Being enough means accepting yourself fully, flaws and all. It means looking in the mirror and seeing your beauty, not just in the way you look, but in the way you love, in the way you care, in the way you show up for yourself and others. It's knowing that even on your hardest days, you still matter. This isn't about settling or giving up on growth. It's about realizing that you don't have to wait until you've achieved some external milestone to feel good about yourself. You don't have to prove your worth to anyone. You already have everything within you. You were born with it. The challenge is learning to trust that truth, to drown out the noise of the world that tells you otherwise. Think about how much time and energy we waste trying to be more successful, more likable, more perfect. We run ourselves into the ground, trying to reach a bar that keeps getting higher and higher. But what if I told you the real power comes from standing still, from planting your feet firmly in the ground and declaring, I am enough, just as I am? And when you truly believe that, everything changes. You stop seeking approval from others because you already know your worth. You stop comparing yourself to others because their journey is not your journey, You start making decisions that align with your truth, not because you're trying to prove something, but because you know what you deserve. And when you know you are enough, the world begins to reflect that back to you. You attract people who see your value, opportunities that honor your gifts, and experiences that lift you higher. It's not an easy journey. There will be days when you doubt yourself, when the old voices of insecurity creep in. But on those days, remind yourself of this simple truth: you were created with purpose. And that purpose is not diminished by anything external. It's not about what you lack, it's about what you already possess. You are whole even when you feel incomplete. You are worthy even when the world tries to make you feel otherwise. So let go of the belief that you need to be more. Let go of the idea that you need to fix something about yourself to be deserving of love, success, or happiness. You don't need to be fixed because you are not broken. You are growing, evolving, learning, but never broken. Embrace the fact that you, in all your uniqueness, in all your imperfections, are enough. And the moment you accept that, you'll find a peace that no external achievement could ever bring. You'll find that everything you were chasing was already within you. You'll realize that the only thing you ever needed was to believe in yourself. You are enough. Always have been, always will be. Failure is one of the most misunderstood experiences in life. We've been taught to fear it, to avoid it at all costs, as though it's a mark of shame or proof that we aren't capable. But let me tell you, this failure is not the end. It's not a wall that stops you, it's a door that opens you up to new possibilities. Failure is a stepping stone. It's the pathway to something greater, something richer, something you couldn't see when you were standing on the other side of it. Every successful person you've ever admired has known failure, and they've known it intimately. The difference is, they didn't let it define them. They didn't let it stop them from pursuing their dreams. Instead, they used it, they learned from it, they allowed failure to be their teacher. Because failure, if you let it, will show you what you need to grow. It will expose the areas where you need to improve, the habits that are holding you back, and the mindset that needs shifting. When you experience failure, it can feel crushing. You pour your heart and soul into something, only to watch it not turn out the way you hoped. You begin to question everything: your abilities, your choices, your future. But in that questioning, in that uncomfortable space where everything feels uncertain, that's where the growth happens. That's where you start to dig deep and discover who you really are and what you're truly made of. Failure strips away the illusions. It strips away the pretense and leaves you with nothing but the raw, honest truth of where you are in your journey. And that truth is powerful. Because once you face it, once you accept it, you can begin to rebuild. You can begin to shift your perspective and understand that failure doesn't mean you're not good enough. It simply means that there's more for you to learn, more for you to refine, more for you to give. And here's the beautiful part. Each time you fail, you become stronger. Each time you stumble, you build resilience. You start to understand that failure is not a reflection of your worth, but a necessary part of your evolution. You stop fearing it because you know that every time you fail, you're getting closer to the success that's waiting for you on the other side. The only real failure is in giving up, in deciding that the pain of falling down is greater than the possibility of getting back up and moving forward. When you look at failure as a stepping stone, you begin to see it for what it really is, a guide. It's guiding you toward the path you're meant to be on, showing you what doesn't work so that you can find what does. It's pushing you to grow in ways you never would have if everything had been easy. You learn how to pivot, how to be adaptable, how to keep going when the road gets tough. And those lessons are invaluable. They build character, they build grit, they give you the kind of wisdom and strength that you can't get from success alone. Think about the times in your life when you failed. Maybe it was a job you didn't get, a relationship that didn't work out, or a dream that didn't materialize in the way you imagined. In those moments, it's easy to feel like you've lost something. But the truth is, those failures were redirecting you. They were steering you towards something better, something more aligned with who you are becoming. If you hadn't failed, you might have stayed stuck in something that wasn't meant for you. Failure forces you to reassess, to realign, and to ask yourself what you really want, and that's where the magic happens. Failure also builds empathy. It reminds you that everyone is human, that everyone is trying, stumbling, and learning along the way. When you've failed, you understand the struggle and you can offer grace to others who are going through their own challenges. It connects you to the shared human experience of growth, of trying and sometimes falling short, but always getting back up. So don't fear failure, embrace it. Know that it's not here to break you, it's here to build you. It's showing you the way forward, even when the path feels unclear. Every failure is a lesson. Every setback is an opportunity to come back stronger, wiser, and more determined. And when you finally do reach that success, when you stand at the top of that mountain, it will be so much sweeter, not in spite of the failures, but because of them. You see, success isn't about never failing. It's about refusing to let failure have the last word. It's about using every stumble, every misstep, every disappointment as a stepping stone to get you where you're meant to be. So keep going. Keep learning. Keep failing forward. Because each failure is taking you one step closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. Living with intention means waking up every day with a clear sense of purpose, with a heart that is aligned with what truly matters to you. It means that you are no longer allowing life to just happen to you. You are actively creating the life you want. Too often, we go through the motions, caught up in the busyness of our routines, reacting to whatever comes our way instead of deciding what we want to bring into our lives. But when you live with intention, you take control of your path. You start to understand that every choice, every action, and every thought shapes the direction of your life. Intention isn't about striving or hustling to achieve more. It's about being deliberate with how you live, how you love, and how you spend your time. It's about making choices that align with your values, your goals, and the person you want to become. When you set an intention, it's like planting a seed. You focus your energy on nurturing that seed, and in time, it blossoms into something beautiful. But without intention, it's easy to drift. It's easy to get swept up in what everyone else wants, to lose sight of your dreams, and to feel like life is just passing you by. Living with intention starts with clarity. You have to get still and ask yourself the big questions. What do I want my life to stand for? What kind of person do I want to be? What truly brings me joy? These aren't questions with quick or easy answers, but they are the questions that lead you to your truth. Once you have that clarity, everything else falls into place. You start to make decisions that honor that truth. And those decisions shape the course of your life. But it's not enough to just think about your intentions, you have to act on them. Intention without action is just a wish. You have to be willing to do the work, to make the changes, and to be consistent in aligning your life with your purpose. And that takes courage, because living with intention often means stepping away from what's comfortable. It means saying no to things that don't serve you, even when they seem easy or familiar. It means prioritizing what matters most, even when it requires sacrifice or discomfort. Intentional living also requires mindfulness. You have to be present in your life, aware of your thoughts, your choices, and your behaviors. It's easy to fall into autopilot, to let your days blur together without really being aware of how you're spending your time or where your energy is going. But when you live with intention, you bring a sense of awareness to every moment. You ask yourself, is this in alignment with my purpose? Is this helping me move closer to the life I want to create? If the answer is no, you adjust. You redirect your energy toward what matters. Living with intention also means being intentional in your relationships. It's about showing up fully for the people you care about, being present in your interactions, and nurturing connections that lift you higher. It's about surrounding yourself with people who support your growth, who align with your values, and who inspire you to be the best version of yourself. When you're intentional about the people in your life, you're no longer wasting time on relationships that drain you or distract you from your path. Another part of living with intention is letting go of what doesn't serve you. This could be habits, beliefs, or even people that are holding you back. We all carry things with us, past hurts, fears, doubts that weigh us down. But when you're intentional, you become aware of those things and make a conscious choice to release them. You decide that you're not going to let the past define your future, and you create space for what truly matters. You let go of the need to be everything to everyone, and instead you focus on what brings you peace, what fuels your soul, and what lights you up. Living with intention is also about understanding that life is precious. Time is the one resource we can't get back, and every moment you spend is a moment you'll never have again. When you live with intention, you start to see each day as an opportunity to create meaning, to do what matters, and to move closer to the life you want to live. You don't take your days for granted because you know that each one is a gift. And when you approach life from that perspective, everything changes. You stop waiting for the right time to pursue your dreams. You realize that the time is now. And here's the beautiful part: when you live with intention, life becomes richer. Your days have more meaning, your relationships have more depth, and your actions have more purpose. You start to attract opportunities and experiences that align with your goals because your energy is focused and clear. You're no longer scattered or distracted, you're grounded in your truth. And that truth guides everything you do. Living with intention is a practice. It's something you commit to daily, knowing that there will be times when you stray off course, when you get caught up in distractions or challenges. But when you live with intention, you always come back to your center. You always come back to your purpose. And that's what makes all the difference. Your life is yours to create. You have the power to shape it, to design it, and to fill it with the things that matter most to you. So live with intention, live with purpose, live in a way that honors who you truly are and who you're becoming. And watch as your life transforms into something extraordinary. Gratitude is one of the most transformative forces you can invite into your life. It has the power to shift your entire perspective, to turn even the smallest moments into blessings, and to open your heart to a sense of abundance that you might have overlooked in the rush of everyday life. Cultivating gratitude isn't just about saying thank you when things are going well. It's about learning to see the gifts in every situation, even the challenges. It's about recognizing that no matter where you are or what you're going through, there is always something to be grateful for. When you cultivate gratitude, you begin to see the world differently. You start to notice the things that once seemed ordinary, and you realize how extraordinary they really are. The warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of laughter, the simple pleasure of a meal, these aren't just passing moments, they are the very things that make life rich. But so often we get caught up in what's missing and what we haven't achieved or what we don't yet have that we forget to acknowledge all that we do have. Gratitude brings you back to the present. Your energy affects the people around you. Your light becomes a beacon for others to follow. When you're filled with positive energy, you inspire others to rise, to believe in themselves, and to see the possibilities in their own lives. It creates a ripple effect. Just as negativity can spread, so can positivity, and the more you surround yourself with it, the more you'll find yourself lifting others up too. Surrounding yourself with positivity doesn't mean that life will always be easy, but it does mean that you'll have the resilience to face whatever comes your way. You'll be better equipped to handle challenges because you're not weighed down by negativity. You'll approach problems with a solution-oriented mindset, and you'll recover more quickly from setbacks because you're supported by an uplifting environment. Positivity gives you strength, it gives you hope, and it gives you the power to create a life that feels aligned with your highest self. So be intentional about who and what you surround yourself with. Choose relationships that uplift you, environments that inspire you, and conversations that challenge you to grow. Protect your peace and don't be afraid to set boundaries when necessary. Feed your mind with thoughts that nourish your soul. And watch how, over time, your life begins to reflect the positivity that you've intentionally cultivated around you. Listening to your inner voice is one of the most profound acts of self-trust and self-awareness you can cultivate. Deep within, there is a voice that speaks to you, a voice that knows your truth, that knows what you need, what you desire, and what your soul is calling for. But in the noise of the world, with its endless demands, distractions, and expectations, that voice can often get drowned out. It's easy to lose touch with it, to second-guess yourself, or to prioritize the opinions and expectations of others over the quiet knowing that comes from within. Your inner voice isn't loud. It's not forceful. It doesn't shout or demand your attention. It whispers. It nudges. It's subtle but unwavering, patiently waiting for you to tune in. And when you take the time to listen to it, it can guide you toward the life you're meant to live. This voice comes from a place of deep wisdom. It knows you better than anyone else because it is you. It's your truest self, the part of you that is not swayed by fear, doubt, or external influences. When you listen to it, you are aligning with your highest potential. But how often do we ignore that voice? How often do we dismiss it, telling ourselves that we don't know what's best for us or that someone else's opinion matters more? We've been conditioned to seek validation from others, to follow the paths laid out for us by society, family, or culture. But in doing so, we sometimes stray from our own path. We betray our inner knowing, convincing ourselves that we can't trust it, or worse, that it doesn't matter. And yet, deep down, we feel the disconnect. We feel the tension between who we truly are and who we think we should be. Listening to your inner voice means reclaiming your power. It means recognizing that you already have the answers you're seeking. They may not always be clear or immediate, but they are there, waiting for you to access them. The challenge is quieting the external noise long enough to hear what your inner voice is telling you. This requires stillness, patience, and a willingness to trust yourself even when it feels uncomfortable or uncertain. When you listen to your inner voice, you begin to make decisions from a place of authenticity. You stop trying to fit into molds that don't reflect who you truly are. You stop seeking approval from people who don't understand your journey. You begin to live in alignment with your values, your desires, and your unique purpose. And when you do that, you experience a profound sense of peace because you're no longer living a life that is in conflict with your true self. This doesn't mean that listening to your inner voice is easy. It often requires courage, especially when what it's telling you goes against the grain. It might ask you to make difficult choices, to step away from situations, relationships, or careers that no longer serve you. It might tell you to take a leap of faith, to pursue a dream that seems impossible, or to stand up for something you believe in, even when others don't understand. But that's the power of the inner voice that guides you toward the life you're meant to live, not the one others expect you to live. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is the time and space to listen to your inner voice. This means creating moments of silence, moments where you disconnect from the noise of the world and tune into the stillness within. It might be through meditation, journaling, spending time in nature, or simply sitting quietly with yourself. It's in these moments that your inner voice becomes clearer. It's in these moments that you begin to hear the whispers of your soul. And when you do hear it, honor it. Trust that it's leading you in the right direction, even if that direction feels unfamiliar or uncertain. Trust that your inner voice is connected to something greater than yourself, something that knows the path ahead even when you can't see it. This is where faith comes in, not blind faith in external forces, but faith in yourself, in your own intuition, in your ability to navigate your life in a way that feels true to you. Listening to your inner voice also requires discernment. Not every thought or feeling is your inner voice. Fear, doubt, and insecurity often masquerade as truth. The key is learning to differentiate between the voice of fear and the voice of intuition. Fear will speak to you in a way that limits you, that makes you feel small, incapable, or unworthy. Your inner voice, on the other hand, will always guide you toward expansion, even if it challenges you. It will feel calm, grounded, and aligned, even if it's asking you to take a risk. Over time, as you practice tuning in, you'll become more attuned to that inner guidance. You'll recognize when it's speaking to you, and you'll learn to trust it more deeply. And with that trust comes a sense of freedom to be yourself, unapologetically. You no longer need to look outside yourself for answers because you know that everything you need is already within you. There will be times when your inner voice asks you to stand alone, to walk a path that others don't understand. But know that every time you honor it, you are honoring your truth. You are living in alignment with your purpose, and that is the most powerful thing you can do. The world needs more people who are willing to listen to their inner voice, to follow their own path, and to live in a way that reflects their deepest values. Your inner voice is your compass. It will never lead you astray. It may take you on unexpected journeys. It may challenge you to grow in ways you didn't anticipate, but it will always lead you toward your highest good. Trust it, nurture it, and most importantly, listen to it. Because when you live a life guided by your inner voice, you live a life of authenticity, purpose, and fulfillment. You live a life that is true to who you are at your core. And that is the most beautiful, most powerful way to live. Taking care of your body and mind is not just an act of self-care, it's an act of self-love. It's a recognition that you are worthy of the time, the attention, and the energy it takes to nourish yourself fully, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. In a world that constantly pulls us in every direction, where the demands of life can often take precedence over our own well-being, it's easy to put ourselves last. But when you neglect your body and mind, everything else in your life starts to unravel. Your body is your home. It's the vessel that carries you through this world, the vehicle that allows you to experience life in all its fullness. Yet, so many of us treat our bodies as an afterthought, pushing them beyond their limits, denying them rest, fueling them with things that deplete rather than replenish. We ignore the signals, the aches, the fatigue, convincing ourselves that we can keep going until we can't. The body has a way of demanding our attention when we fail to give it the care it needs. Taking care of your body isn't about vanity or aesthetics. It's about honoring the gift of life you've been given. It's about fueling your body with the nourishment it needs to thrive, whole, nutrient-rich foods that energize you, hydrate you, and heal you from the inside out. It's about movement, not just to look a certain way, but to feel alive, to stretch, strengthen, and breathe vitality into every part of you. Exercise doesn't have to be grueling. It's about finding what feels good for you, whether it's yoga, walking, dancing, or anything that makes you feel connected to your body. Rest is just as important as movement. In our culture of constant productivity, we've been taught that rest is a luxury, something we can only allow ourselves once everything else is done. But the truth is, rest is essential. Your body needs time to recover, to restore, to heal. Sleep is not a sign of weakness or laziness. It's a vital function that allows your body and mind to regenerate. When you're rested, you can show up more fully in your life, more focused, more present, more capable of handling whatever comes your way. But taking care of your body is only half the equation. Your mind is just as important, if not more so, because your thoughts, your beliefs, your inner dialogue shape every aspect of your life. The mind is powerful, and it can either be your greatest ally or your biggest obstacle. The way you speak to yourself matters. The thoughts you feed yourself every day have a direct impact on how you feel, how you move through the world, and what you believe is possible for you. So many of us carry around mental baggage, limiting beliefs, negative self-talk, old stories about who we are and what we're capable of. We let those thoughts run on autopilot, unaware of how much they're weighing us down. But taking care of your mind means becoming conscious of those thoughts, questioning them, and choosing to replace them with thoughts that empower you. It means creating space for positivity, for growth, for self-compassion. Mental health is just as crucial as physical health, and yet, for so long, it has been stigmatized, ignored, or brushed under the rug. But taking care of your mind means acknowledging that it's okay to not always be okay. It's okay to seek help when you need it, whether that's through therapy, meditation, journaling, or simply talking to someone who understands. Your mental health deserves the same level of care and attention as your physical health, because when your mind is clear and strong, you are better equipped to face the challenges of life with resilience and grace. And then there's the connection between the body and mind. These two are not separate, they are deeply intertwined. What you do to your body affects your mind, and what you think affects your body. Stress, for instance, doesn't just live in your mind, it manifests in your body, in your muscles, your digestion, your immune system. That's why it's so important to find ways to calm your mind, whether that's through mindfulness, deep breathing, or simply taking time to be still. When your mind is calm, your body responds with a sense of ease and relaxation. Taking care of your body and mind is an ongoing practice. It's not something you do once and then forget about. It's a daily commitment to yourself, a promise that you will show up for yourself even when life gets busy, even when it feels like there's no time. Because the truth is, if you don't make time to take care of yourself, your body and mind will eventually force you to. And when that happens, it's often in the form of illness, burnout, or breakdown. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you're constantly giving to others, constantly working, constantly pushing yourself without taking the time to recharge, you will eventually run out of steam. But when you take care of yourself first, when you nourish your body, when you calm your mind, you are able to show up in the world with more energy, more clarity, more love to give. You become a better version of yourself, not just for you, but for everyone around you. So take care of your body, feed it with what it needs to thrive, move it, stretch it, let it breathe, rest it when it's tired, and take care of your mind. Feed it with positive, empowering thoughts, quiet it when it's overwhelmed. Give it the space it needs to process, to heal, to grow. You are worthy of that care. You are deserving of that love. And when you treat yourself with the respect and kindness you deserve, you will find that everything else in your life starts to fall into place. Taking care of your body and mind is not just an act of maintenance, it's an act of reverence. It's a way of saying, I honor this life, I honor this body, I honor this mind. And when you do that, you are able to show up in the world as the fullest, most vibrant version of yourself. Because a healthy body and a healthy mind create a life filled with joy, purpose, and possibility. Never stop learning. These three words carry immense power and wisdom, urging us to embrace a journey that knows no end. Learning is not merely confined to the walls of a classroom or the pages of a book. It is a lifelong adventure that enriches our lives, shapes our perspectives, and fuels our growth. The world around us is a boundless source of knowledge and experience, and the moment we decide to stop learning is the moment we stop evolving. Imagine for a moment the vastness of human experience. Every day, countless opportunities arise to learn something new, to gain insight from the people we encounter, and to discover different viewpoints that challenge our own. Yet, in the hustle and bustle of life, it's easy to slip into a comfortable routine, to settle into the familiar, and to believe that we've learned enough. But this comfort can become a trap. It limits our potential, stifles our curiosity, and keeps us from the growth that lies just beyond our comfort zone. Learning is not just about acquiring knowledge, it's about expanding our understanding of the world and ourselves. It's about seeking out the unfamiliar, asking questions, and being open to the idea that we don't have all the answers. This openness is what keeps our minds agile and our spirits vibrant. When we embrace a mindset of lifelong learning, we cultivate curiosity, a desire to explore, discover, and engage with life in a deeper way. We begin to see challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than obstacles to our progress. One of the most beautiful aspects of learning is that it can happen anywhere, at any time. It's not limited to traditional education. It encompasses every experience we have, every conversation we engage in, and every piece of art we encounter. Life itself is a classroom. Whether we're learning from triumphs or failures, each moment presents an opportunity to glean wisdom and insight. The key is to remain open and receptive to these lessons. Think about the people in your life. Each individual has a unique story, a wealth of experiences that can teach us something valuable. By engaging in meaningful conversations, listening to different perspectives, and sharing our own stories, we create a rich tapestry of knowledge that connects us to one another. We can learn from the struggles and successes of others, allowing their journeys to inform our own. It is this exchange of ideas and experiences that enriches our lives and expands our horizons. In today's fast-paced world where information is at our fingertips, the opportunities to learn are endless. Online courses, podcasts, books, documentaries, these are all gateways to knowledge waiting to be explored. The only limit is our willingness to dive in and seek out new insights, and in doing so, we discover not just facts or skills, but a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. But learning also requires humility. It's about acknowledging that we don't have all the answers and that we're not infallible. The willingness to learn means admitting that we can grow, that we can change our minds, and that we can embrace new ideas, even if they challenge our long-held beliefs. This humility opens the door to true learning. It allows us to approach the world with a sense of wonder, ready to absorb the lessons that life has to offer. Moreover, never stop learning means recognizing the importance of self-reflection. Taking the time to reflect on our experiences, our choices, and our growth allows us to understand what we've learned along the way. Journaling, meditation, or simply quiet moments of contemplation can provide clarity and insight, helping us connect the dots of our experiences and extract meaningful lessons. In this process of reflection, we learn not only from our successes, but also from our failures. Each stumble becomes a stepping stone toward greater wisdom. As we commit to a life of learning, we also inspire those around us. When we embrace curiosity and growth, we become role models for others, encouraging them to seek their own paths of discovery. Our willingness to learn and evolve creates a ripple effect, inviting others to step outside their comfort zones and explore the beauty of continuous growth. In this way, we create a culture of learning, a community where knowledge is shared, celebrated, and valued. Never stop learning is a mantra that reminds us of the richness of life. It urges us to cultivate a mindset of curiosity, to remain open to new ideas, and to seek knowledge in every corner of our existence. Learning keeps us engaged with the world, fuels our passions, and ignites our creativity. It is the spark that drives us to innovate, to explore, and to connect with others in profound ways. Ultimately, learning is a gift we give ourselves. It empowers us to rise above our circumstances, to adapt to change, and to navigate the complexities of life with grace. When we commit to this journey of lifelong learning, we open ourselves to a world of possibilities. We embrace the idea that every day is an opportunity for growth, that every experience has something to teach us, and that the pursuit of knowledge enriches our lives in ways we can hardly imagine. So embrace this beautiful journey. Seek out the lessons in every experience, every encounter, and every moment. Be curious, be humble, and never stop learning. The world is waiting to share its wisdom with you, and in doing so, you will discover not only the beauty of life, but also the incredible depth of your own potential. The journey of learning is one that will forever transform you, illuminating your path and guiding you toward the life you are meant to live. Remember, life isn't just about what you achieve, but how you feel about yourself and the impact you have on others. My greatest advice to you is to live fully, love deeply, and never forget your power. Thank you.